Hey, everybody, welcome to Open for Business. I have got another wonderful guest this week. I got Trey Williams from, is it Primerica? I did say it right. Hot damn. One day it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to say things anymore. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I
Thank you.
know you've already been on with Truly Talks.
Yes.
So, he stole my thunder. No, I'm
It's
just
all
kidding.
good.
So, tell everybody at home what Primerica is.
Yeah. So Primerica Financial Services, it's a independent financial services company established in 1977 with the mindset of helping Main Street America. Right. A lot of financial companies and your bigger investment companies, they're all chasing after the top 1 to 2% of income earners and net worth people. Whereas we're more focused on the remaining people in the country, right? That that are just good hard workers that want an opportunity to have access to professionally managed money, be able to build wealth, be financially educated, that we're not taught in school, the things we're not taught in school, right? And,
Right.
and be able to have access to all of that through professional financial planners, right?
So, but you're more than just that.
hmm
I mean, the line of products you have, and I hate to call them products
Right.
sometimes. Like,
Services,
so,
solutions,
yeah, services are are
solutions.
are. I mean, they're huge.
Yeah.
So let's go into if you can list them all.
Sure. Sure.
Let's talk about what
So
all services you offer.
right. So our bookends are going to be your investments, right? So whether it is personal investments for retirement, whether it is non-retirement type stuff, minor accounts, college savings accounts, or if it's bigger like a 401k plan or a retirement plan for a business, right? We have all those types of things as well. And then the other side of the bookend is the life insurance side of the business. And that is the defensive strategy that we implement and to help replace income in the event of an income earner passing away. Then there's all sorts of other ancillary products that are trickled in there that we have access to. So the next big one would be our mortgages. So we partner with Rocket.
I did not know you did
Yeah,
mortgages.
so partner with Rocket.
Okay.
I'm licensed in that as
All
well.
right.
That's one that we help with debt consolidation, getting people out of debt using the house equity. Um, and freeing up more money for them to
Well,
invest.
that almost makes really good sense because you're already helping them with their finances anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I already know everything that's going on with them, so that's just one more piece that I can come in and go, when I'm sitting with a family, it's another part of the strategy that I can pull in and be able to help them all in one place versus having to go, okay, well, you need to go talk to this person or you need to go talk to that person in order to get your plan or your solution implemented. Other stuff we do, we partner with Legal Shield on prepaid legal services, wills, power of attorney documents. Now we do some trust, basic trusts, all that kind of stuff in there. Um, we also have home and auto where we just refer that out. I don't tend to focus on that much. I just want to free people's money up. If you're overpaying for homeowners insurance, I don't care who you get it with. Just don't overpay, right? Save
But do
money.
you have good recommendations of
I
people
do.
you trust?
I have a
You're
net.
not just gonna go, "Yeah, go see Bobby over
No,
there."
I have a network of people around me. If even stuff that some of the ancillary products that I do, even mortgages, because a lot of times I may want to send them to someone else because I know they've got a better service, like different product offerings that Rocket doesn't do, that I can help them to accomplish whatever goals we're trying to accomplish. So I'm not afraid to work with other people that do have crossover with me because I know I don't do it all and I'm not going to be the best person at all of it, but I have other people that I know that I trust that can provide that service for my clients and give them a better experience or do stuff that I can't do.
Right.
So,
Okay, so let's jump over to insurance.
mhm,
We may come back to that. Um, I'm a bunny trail guy, so,
that's fine.
uh, so when you get into the life insurance world, there's multiple different types
Sure.
of insurance,
Sure.
right? And there's even some that you've mentioned, and I'm like, I thought I'd heard of that, but I guess I didn't hear of that.
Uh-huh.
Can you break down some of the different types of life insurance?
Sure. Sure. There's two main categories, right? There's term life insurance and then there's a cash value life insurance. Within cash value life insurance, you have things like whole life, we'll call it permanent life, um, universal life, indexed universal life. You have those are your main ones, and they got different ones. You get paid up whole life, or you paid up in 10, paid up in 20. So different products that companies will offer. Um, Ultimately, they're all just big money makers for the insurance companies. Not always necessarily
Can't believe you said that.
not always necessarily the best product for the client. And
Right.
so for us, and most people don't understand how whole life is designed or built, because really there's only one type of life insurance, and that's term. Because even inside of a whole life policy or an IUL
Right.
or a UL, what the insurance company is doing is they're buying annual renewable term. So they buy a 1-year term policy. Every year it renews and goes up in cost because you're getting older, so that cost is going up. But it automatically renews. You don't have to health qualify every year. But they're buying cheap term insurance inside of a bundled product where they're bundling some sort of savings component,
Right.
whether it's linked to an index or just a plain old fixed savings account, whatever it is. They're bundling those two together, but it's still term insurance, right? But they're calling it whole life.
Okay. So now, which one is it that you can never touch until you're passed away?
Um, well, they all kind of work that way. So you've got term. Term has got, like it says, it's a term. It's a period of time, whether it's a 10-year term or a 35-year term.
Okay.
It's set for that term, and it's got a specific purpose, right? We use it as a gap filler while we're helping a client to build wealth. Once they
Okay.
build wealth, they no longer need insurance because they have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million that's going to provide an income if they live or die. So they don't need life insurance anymore.
But at the end of the term, do they pull their money out?
No. So
Okay.
it's kind of like car insurance, right?
Oh, you don't ever get your money
If
back.
you buy car insurance and you never have an accident in 30 years, the insurance company's not going to go, well, congratulations, you never had an accident. Here's all your premium back.
Right.
Not going to happen, right? Same thing for homeowners insurance. We pay it because we need it for the what if.
What if?
You never know, right?
So, okay, so this is where it gets all confusing because you hear all these commercials. Well, me and Betty just don't need ours anymore. We were going to let it lapse, but we found out we could sell our life insurance.
Right.
What is that all about?
So there are policies, typically your permanent life insurance policies, so your whole life at the cash value type policies, that you can assign them to somebody else as the beneficiary. So they will buy your life insurance policy for a certain amount of money, not the full death value, right? So maybe you have $100,000 death benefit on a whole life policy, and they're willing to pay you right now. Hey, I'll pay you $70,000 or $60,000, and I'll take over the payments on the life insurance policy. Now the beneficiary is me. So if you die 2 years from now, I only had to pay 2 years of premium, and I get the full death benefit.
So you get all the money.
Right. So
Okay.
people can do that. I don't. We don't do that kind of stuff with ours because that's not the tool that we're using to protect people rather than.
But you hear it all the time.
People
It's
will
like,
do that.
and it's like one of the most famous commercials out there. We bought our kids college and we did this and we did this and now we get to do some traveling. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not as common, and it was more common early, years ago. It's not as common anymore. But again, the different types of life insurance out there, they can get really complicated. I've read through contract after contract after contract of other companies' products and had to decipher them and really help clients understand what they had.
Right.
And I'd say about 99% of the time, once I've explained to them, they're like, "Well, they didn't tell me that." Well, I said, "Well, it doesn't matter if they told you or not. It's what's in the contract that you signed.
Right.
And so this is how it works." And I would just show them in the contract where it said in black and white, "Here's this, here's this, here's this." And then they would go, "Well, I don't want that." I go, "Well, you have it. So what are we going to do about it?" Right. And then I help them to, whether it's getting out of that product, getting into a different plan,
Okay.
so to speak. And one of the biggest things with whole life, the reason why we don't do whole life cash value is because you pay for two things, right? So you pay for the term insurance that's annual renewable inside the policy, and then you have the cash value. So when you pay a monthly premium, let's say your premium's $200 a month, a portion of that goes to life insurance, and then a portion of it goes to, for the first 3 to 5 years, goes to commissions for the agent, fees, administrative fees, those kind of things, policy fees. And then what's left goes into a little savings account bucket. As that builds up, that's great. It builds up, people can go get it, right? But they have to pay interest to use that money. It's a loan,
Right.
right? So you're paying interest to use your own money. Doesn't make sense to me, but
Yeah.
that's how the product's designed. And then if you don't pay it back, then when you do pass away, the death benefit is reduced by the amount you took out plus interest for how many ever years, and you don't keep any of the cash value whatsoever. Right? So you die, you either get the death benefit,
Right.
the insurance company keeps the cash value. That's how all of them work,
Okay.
unless there's one exception in an IUL where you can select a different option to keep both, but you pay more.
Right.
So
That
you pay for two things, but you only ever get
right.
one.
And that's why that I think every time I've watched somebody say IUL, I watch your face, you just cringe. You're like,
Yeah.
no.
I even know people that sell whole life products that don't like IULs. Like they're like, no, they're not good for clients. They end up if they're not done properly, which most of them aren't that I've seen come across my desk, they'll end up eating themselves up. Meaning the cost of insurance will continue to rise above what the person is paying in every month. And so then what happens is to supplement the cost of insurance, they start taking out of that savings bucket
Mm,
to pay for the insurance. And eventually it's going to eat itself up.
mm,
And then you're going to be 70 years old. You're going to get a letter in the mail that says, hey, you need to be paying $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month to keep this policy in force or it's going to lapse.
right.
And you spent all this money into a policy that now you're not going to be able to keep in place
Right.
and benefit from. And so to me, that's not right.
Mm-mm.
And so I really educate people on how those work. And I've run into agents that sell them that didn't know how they worked,
Gotcha.
which
So
is unfortunate. That's not all of them.
no,
Some of them
no,
do know,
I understand what you're
but,
saying.
but
But
yeah.
the question I have for you is when like we sit in networking groups together and there's three other guys in there that do what you do,
hmm
what makes you out of that room of those guys, what makes you different or better
hmm
than those guys?
Yeah. Um, Without knowing them, right? I can only assume there's certain companies I know how they work,
Mm,
just because I've had conversations with people, and I understand their structure and what their goals are. I would say, for me, it's not necessarily the company difference, but I think it's more the mission that we have of
gotcha.
creating financially independent
Right.
families. I'm not about just trying to collect assets to collect assets. I'm about how can I help people actually become financially independent, right? So all the decisions I make, the solutions I provide that we do as a company, they're all with that in mind of our mission statement is to create financially independent families. And so every product line that we have, every partnership that we get with every company out there, we we cherry pick the things that are going to help us
Ooh,
to be able to set
right.
families up to become financially independent.
Whoa. Okay, so what are some misnomers of things that people think you do
hmm
that you do not do?
I do not do.
Right? I
So,
mean, I know that's a weird question, but everybody thinks you guys I'll let you
yeah.
answer it.
I think the biggest one that I've run into recently is that I can help people with like financing stuff, like
Mm.
actually money loans,
Oh,
that kind
okay.
of stuff,
Okay.
which I don't do
Uh-uh.
that, right?
Right.
That's a whole different
That's a different
area.
world.
Yeah, different world. Um, but that's probably the biggest one I get is people thinking that I can help them with those kind of things, which I
Hey
can't.
man, can you get me a car loan?
Right, like just like financing for a debt consolidation loan or something. I'm like, no, I don't do those. I mean, unless you've got a house and you've got equity in your mortgage, then I can help you consolidate your debt.
Right.
Absolutely, but it's through a mortgage product, not an unsecured loan, personal loan.
Right, right.
Right? There's plenty of places that you can just go on the internet and search and do that.
So what about the stock market world?
Yeah, so we don't our company particularly doesn't directly deal just in stocks,
Mhm.
right? So I'm not a stock broker. Um, my technical term is a registered representative with my licenses,
Right.
and then the investment advisor with the 65 license.
Okay.
Um, we do have ability within certain platforms to create custom accounts where you can buy individual stocks, real estate, different things, and pull that into a single account that's customized for that client. Those are usually a little bit higher net worth clients. But we have the ability to do those. Those are called SMAs, separately
SMAs.
managed accounts. So
Okay.
it's basically like they're creating their own custom account with different things in it that they can pull together.
So you wouldn't be considered a CPA in any way, shape, or form.
No, that's another thing people think I do
Because,
accounting
right, yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. Hey,
stuff
man,
like
help me
that.
open my books.
Right. So that's again, I have a team of people around me. I know accountants. I know people that are great accountants. I know people that are great tax preparers, CPAs, bookkeepers, payroll, all those things that complement what we do. I have a good team around me that I can connect people with. I have some knowledge about it, but it's not what I do. I have enough knowledge to know who to point people to based on what they're asking me or what their needs are, but I don't do it.
So, um,
Nor do I want
no, I was gonna say, I
to.
don't think you want. So if I have a good CPA, my CPA and you and me, we should all sit down and have a confab, is what
Yes,
military calls it. We have a
absolutely.
confab going, okay, so this is the man that's going to make sure when I die, everything is good. This is
Right.
the man that makes sure my books are good and whole nine yards. And I'm not, the IRS is not knocking on my door,
Sure.
but you guys should be communicating.
Right. CPAs, I work great with CPAs. I actually just had a CPA send me a referral of a business owner, and he owes money in taxes, and so he's like, "We need to talk to Trey because he can probably do some things with different types of investments that can help reduce your taxable income footprint, but you get to keep the money, right? It's going into your retirement
Ooh.
accounts, right?" So sat down with a guy, showed him how we could reduce his taxable income by about $30,000 a year. So that way, instead of he getting taxed on 100,000, he's going to get taxed on 70. But he's getting to keep the money. He's not getting to go buy a truck or buy this or buy that. He doesn't necessarily need it. He gets to keep his money, right? And then it's going to go into an investment for retirement and grow over time,
Okay,
which will
so
set him up.
I didn't know that you could work with businesses and
Hmm.
individuals. So that's it to me. So I just learned something today that you actually can sit down with a business owner and go,
Correct.
well, let's look at see what's going
Correct.
on. And then that makes their business stronger, makes them stronger.
Right.
And then their CPA is not pulling their hair out at the end of the year going, oh my God, I've got to
Right.
find a way.
Right. Yeah. So I want to help save people money on taxes for one. And you can do that with, there's a lot of different things you can do in the investment world that are tax advantaged accounts. And so being able to do that for business owners, because they're the ones that hit the hardest. The small business owners get to hit the hardest with taxes. So being able to do that for them and put more money back in their pockets so they can reinvest in their business, that's what I want to do, right? Be able to do that. And so yes, business owners are one of my specialties, small business owners especially. I love strategizing
I
with
would have
them
never known that.
and yeah, and helping them to work through things because most times you think about it, you run a small business here,
Hmm.
you're running it, like you're doing things, you've
Mhm.
got day to days. You're not thinking about how do I save money on taxes until you get the tax bill from your
Oh,
CPA
no.
going,
I've been trained
"Been
very
trained well."
well.
Okay,
Let me tell you, everything I do, I was like, is that taxable
taxable write
write-off
off.
or
Yeah,
is this going to cost me more money in the end?
yeah,
I have a very good my books guy. I call him
books
my
guy,
bookie.
your bookie.
You know, he was a mob guy for a while, so he knows what to do and how to do it.
All
And I
right.
shouldn't have said that on air, but I'll fix it later. Um, but it does make more sense now that you need that you guys can talk. But do you find yourself um, teaching people how to uh, keep their finances in check
Mhm.
more than the CPA does?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of when I'm sitting with somebody, especially if I see their income and then they're like, we're paycheck to paycheck, we don't have enough money to do this. Then I'll dig in and go, okay, well, let's look at where you're actually spending your money, right? How are you prioritizing money? Because a lot of times what I'm able to do is I'm able to take money that they're already spending, reprioritize it, and get them more value, whether it's helping them to start investing, whether it's getting them a life insurance policy
Oh,
in place,
right.
getting them out of debt faster, consolidating their debt, bringing up money, and then reallocating that money to something else in their financial game plan. So being able to do all those things, a lot of times I'll walk in, do all this stuff for them, put them in a better spot financially, and they're not spending any more money than they were already spending. But we've just reprioritized it. So, but I do get into people's budgets a lot of times with them. I get in the weeds sometimes with that. Um, on a case by case
Oops.
basis. Some people already have a great written budget.
Right.
Most people don't have a written budget. And I always encourage people to sit down and do a written budget, and then let's get back together and look at it.
Yeah, we really don't do anything without a budget
You can't because it's not smart.
ever.
It's not smart.
No. So it's why people don't have a budget. So tell people what's the best way to get a hold of you.
Sure. My phone number is probably the best way. You can text me, call me. It is my office phone, my personal cell phone. When I talk with people, my clients, they have my personal cell phone. They don't have to call an 800 number.
Right.
It's 770-715-8199. That's my cell phone. You can text me, call me. Best way to do it. If you're an email person, trey.williams@primerica.com. That is my business email. I get that and respond to that within minutes as well.
Okay. Man, we're running out of time, and so I always try to save this to the end here, and I want to make sure that I've got this right. What made you wake up and go, I'm going to help people?
Mhm.
Because I always don't want to know your why.
Sure. For me, so I've always been someone that likes to help people.
Okay.
We lived overseas in Iraq. I taught, worked with a nonprofit, and I'd been in corporate America up until that point, and I wasn't really happy. Like probably that story resonates with a lot of people, right?
Right.
Went overseas, worked with a nonprofit organization, taught at a school, worked in helped us run a soccer academy with refugee kids, local kids there in northern Iraq. And when I came back here to the States, I didn't want to just go back into corporate America because that
Gotcha.
didn't fulfill any purpose for me. Some people find purpose in that. I didn't. And so I wanted to do something that was going to provide purpose and real meaning in people's lives. And when people started coming to me for advice on money, for some reason, I don't know why, I just attracted that. And so I decided to get in this world where with a company that their mission was to create financially independent families, but doing what was right. And something I could believe in, right? And so I was able to do that where I can actually help people in arguably one of the most stressful areas of their life, which is their money. And that just made sense to me. And I could actually build a business that when I pass away, I can pass that on to my kids, my wife. They can continue that business and continue that legacy. So
Gotcha.
that for me was what I decided back in 2017 that this is what I'm going to do, right?
Oh,
And I'm going
okay.
to get into it.
So we got about 2 minutes left,
Sure.
right? You do something with your family
Oh yeah.
that's completely, and I didn't tell you I was going to ask about
No
this,
worries.
but you do this whole weekend thing with your kids, and your kids did really well.
Yeah.
So let's tell everybody at home what that is.
Yeah, so we are in the obstacle course racing world. If you are familiar with that, you might have heard of Tough Mudders or Spartans. Those are some of the bigger brands, Savage. We also go to some of the smaller brand races like we went to this weekend in Ohio.
Mm.
We went up to a race called War X. It's a completely veteran-run race. It's geared for veterans, but it's a lot of fun. Really hard race. I didn't get to run in it, unfortunately, because I got hurt at a race the previous
You
weekend.
banged yourself up.
Falling off of an obstacle, 230 pounds of gravity, don't get along well. So, yeah, I've got really bad bruised ribs, but took my boys up there, and they bet first and second in their age group this weekend. A lot of the other guys that were up there got top 3 in their age group that were a part of our team and our organization. Lionhearts Fitness is the organization that we are out of right here in Ringgold.
Right.
And my son, my 15-year-old son, ended up finishing 5th overall in this race, which I was super proud.
Right.
That I wasn't expecting it, but he killed it. So out of 150 racers, he finished 5th overall at 15 years old. And he's like, I'm just having fun,
Just having a grand old day.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We do it as a family. My wife usually is participating as well.
Wow.
So it's the whole family. It's great. We travel, once or twice a month to go to these races. We get to meet amazing people. from all over the country, sometimes all over the world. And my kids just love it. We love it as our family. It's like it's our thing, it's our thing we do, and it keeps us fit. And now I'm having to get fit.
I was gonna say it was making you
Yeah, it's
fit.
making me get fit, making me get off my butt and go do some
Yeah,
exercise, go do some running. So,
that's
but we
awesome.
enjoy it. It's great.
Well, thanks for coming in. Can you cover the whole Chattanooga area, correct?
Yeah, I'm like all 50 states.
All 50
So
states. So
yeah.
that way, if you need a guy, that's the man you need to talk to. Thanks for watching for Open for Business, and we'll see everybody next week.